So in part 1 of this travel vlog, which you can watch by clicking the annotation right here, or by clicking the link down in the description below, I mentioned that me and my wife had won a honeymoon vacation to the Bahamas for 4, that we took my brother and his wife, and that we had just arrived at the resort. So let's pick right up where we left off. Now, the Viva Wyndham is not your typical hotel resort. As I said, it is an all-inclusive resort, but it's also a timeshare resort, which we did not know going in. In fact, there was a lot we didn't know going into this trip, which is why I kind of want to make this sort of a review video as well, as I want people to be able to find information before they plan their trips. While researching this place ahead of time, I found a lot of good to fair reviews, but not much else. So I'm going to explain as much about the process and the resort as I can while reviewing every aspect along the way, starting with booking our hotel room. We won this voucher for our free honeymoon vacation, which is basically an access code for a website. Once you're logged in, just select your destination and dates to put your room on hold. Then you have to call an 800 number for Odenza Marketing Group, who runs this website, so you can verify your information as well as pay some fees. Yes, our free honeymoon vacation had some fees we had to pay. Mostly reservation fees that held the hotel room for us, and there were also some taxes. It totaled about $200, but had to be paid way in advance. We were also told at this point that the resort has an all-inclusive fee, which was $520 per person and was mandatory. Also, airfare was not included in this trip. We'd have to pay for that ourselves. It was at this point we almost said screw it and started looking at other options. But we had been holding on to this voucher for over a year, and we really wanted to go to the Bahamas. On top of getting our own hopes up for this trip, we had also told my brother and his wife that we were all going to go together and had gotten their hopes up about it as well. Plus, here we were only a few months away from our wedding with nearly all of our money tied up in the big event. We couldn't really make new plans now, so we bit the bullet, paid the taxes and reservation fees, booked our flights, and spent the next several months wondering how on earth we were going to pay the all-inclusive fees. We also had a hard time confirming our reservation the night before we were set to leave. We called the resort and they didn't have anything for us under our name. So after a few emails to Odenza, they finally got back to us and told us the name our room was reserved under. And it turned out to sound like some weird coupon code. Now, months back when I booked the room with the guy at Odenza, I was told I was booking 2 adjoining rooms for 4 adults with a kitchenette. When we arrived, it was just 1 room with 2 queen-size beds. Not exactly what I was promised, nor ideal for a honeymoon vacation. So first I called Odenza back and spoke to a nice lady who, after first arguing with me about what I had booked, eventually pulled up the correct information. She asked me to go to the check-in desk so she could speak to an employee. It was while she spoke to the people at the check-in desk that I first noticed the "oh well, too bad for you" type attitude that the resort has. The lady from Odenza then explained to me that the resort is claiming to be fully booked, and since Odenza didn't reserve the right type of room, there was nothing they could do. I explained that I'm on my honeymoon and would really like to have this fixed, but apparently there was nothing Odenza could do either, as she took the same sort of "sucks to be you" attitude. Once I got off the phone with Odenza, the people at the resort tried to make it right, but their solution was to offer me a second room at $140 a night, despite having just told Odenza that they were completely booked. In the end, we had a blast sharing our room. The poor Wi-Fi and terrible cell phone service would have made coordinating our activities virtually impossible, and if we were in 2 separate rooms, we might have never even seen each other. Some of the best times we had were staying up all night in our room watching Shark Week and laughing about the things we'd done that day. Just don't book through Odenza if you can avoid it. And if you can't avoid it, don't trust what Odenza says and get everything in writing regarding your reservation before you leave. They're not what I would exactly call trustworthy. They didn't even try to make it up to me after fully admitting they screwed the pooch. My honeymoon could have very well been ruined, as well as my brother's anniversary. Now let's go over some of the stuff that's included in that all-inclusive $520 price tag. Basically how this works is they give you a plastic wristband, one that has really sharp edges and caused at least 2 minor injuries. The wristband gives you access to everything available at the resort. A lot of things are available with this little wristband at the resort, so I'm going to go ahead and go through the whole list and kind of give you an idea of what they are. As a word of advice, make sure you read and listen carefully when it comes to the all-inclusive activities listed at the resort. There were a couple of things we wanted to do that we thought were part of the all-inclusive package, like horseback riding, but it turned out that stuff was extra, like $70 extra. We thought it was included because it was always mentioned alongside the included activities. They would be like, you can surf, sail, snorkel, we got a pool table, we got a pool, we got trapeze, we got archery, plus we got glass-bottom boats, swimming with sharks, horseback riding, all kinds of cool stuff. Did you catch that? I started out talking about a list of things that are included with your pass, but then I switched to things that weren't included without really separating the two lists. Pretty sneaky, Viva Wyndham. One of the activities included in our all-inclusive price tag was archery, and that was a lot of fun. So much so that we did it almost every day and got pretty good. I was going to edit this footage of me shooting together with this footage of my wife who was just kicking ass every time she had the bow, but then on the final day I actually shot a bullseye. We were just kind of relaxing and not really shooting any video, but my wife caught it in 2 pictures. Needless to say, this was my bragging right for the rest of the vacation. The guy in charge of the archery was really friendly and always gave us lots of arrows since most of them didn't have any flights, so having lots of ammo is a must. I'm gonna go ahead and pause here as there's still a lot of ground to cover, including all the different types of food and drink and the other activities available at the resort, as well as the other problems and setbacks that we ran into, so make sure you look for part 3. If you're enjoying this series, make sure to give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe and leave a comment, as that does help me out a ton. And until next time, keep being awesome.